Education, February 10th, 2025 meeting. Can I get a roll call?
Yes, Jody Sturts Hall,
Here.
Hillary Stokowski,
She's absent with notice.
Kim Smith Kalaga,
Absent with notice.
Fur Robinson,
Here.
Rebecca Haynes,
Here.
Diane Salter, here, and Jeff Zilke is coming
Late with notice.
late with notice.
All right, let's stand for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, I know we got a packed house here. So first up is our BHS student report. Come on up.
Hi, good evening, everybody. I think I might have done that. Good evening, everybody. I'm Grace Cowan. I'm president of Student Council.
And I'm Emma Finke, and I'm the vice president of Student Council.
And we're just going to tell you a little bit about what's going on at Vernon High School. Sorry, a little bit technical. So due to all the snow days and cold days and everything the past couple weeks, we haven't had a lot going on. We started our new semester, and then we weren't at school for a while. So we're still getting on that, and then Monday and Tuesday we don't have school again. We have midwinter break. But we're still doing our tutoring and BMAT club as always, helping kids with their schooling. And then every Wednesday we have Hawk Time, and that picture is what we did for last week for Hawk Time. It was about substance abuse and bringing awareness to that. So for sports, we have boys basketball, girls basketball, swim and dive, wrestling, competitive cheer, bowling, and ice hockey. And boys JV actually have a game at Lake Fetty on Thursday, I believe it is. So.
And now for Student Council, we recently started up our new committees. And currently running right now is Sweet Week, which is all Valentine's themed. So we have Spirit Days going through the whole entire week. We have one brand and blue one in there to throw in for school spirit. And then we also have activities such as like at lunches, a raffle that's going on, and then selling flowers. And a sign at the bottom is just an example of stuff that we put up as signs throughout the school. That goes in the science hallway just to add some cute decorations around the school. And then we have the service committee, which is currently working on starting miracle boxes, which is to provide for military. And then we have a leadership committee, and that's to grow council bonding and also learn more leadership skills. And an example up above is we did an activity where we have the whole council's like name on the wall, and everyone put kind sticky notes up there for everybody, so we can all grow to see what we know about each other. And then we have a recruitment committee, which is new, and we just want to inform like the upcoming freshmen and also other people in the council, like more about student council to see if they want to apply. And in SCI, we did a mental health week last year. That's school community involvement, and we're looking into planning that again.
And then in 2 weeks, we are going to States at Grand Rapids. We'll be doing a lot of there'll be a lot of keynote speakers. All of the student councils from around the state gather, and we're there for the weekend, and it's a lot of fun. I haven't been since my freshman year, but every year I've heard it is amazing, and I know I enjoyed it last time I went. You really just learn a lot of leadership skills and just how you grow as a person. It's really great. And then student council officers are going to Owasso on Thursday. We have school. And we'll be having a Clip Metro League meeting that.
And then we also had a blood drive that we were supposed to have last Thursday. But due to the snow day, that got canceled. But it is being
Don't tell me
rescheduled.
it's Thursday.
It's being rescheduled for March 4th. So hopefully we will have good numbers on that because we had good numbers on people signing up last time.
Yeah, that's all we have for you.
The Miracle Drive. That is the Brandon graduate
Yes.
that lost his life in service.
Yes.
And I want to say is it Joe Miracle?
I believe so.
Okay. Yeah, I just want people, that's really cool that you're keeping the memory and that service alive and doing well for our troops, and appreciate that.
We're really excited to gather stuff for them. It's been a big thing that we've been planning for a couple weeks, so.
Good.
Well, that's all we have for you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, next up is superintendent report with Carly Stone.
All right, because of snow days, it's going to be a theme that you're going to hear over and over and over. We delayed our Teacher of the Year recognition presentations because we had it all set, and then Mother Nature told us to do something differently. So week before, it's all fogging together now. We had the distinct pleasure of surprising 3 very, very special staff members across the district for all the amazing and remarkable work that they do for and with our students every day. So we'd like to take a minute and publicly recognize them for our community. And if I could please pass the baton to Mrs. Stewart, we will go from there.
All right. We have this year been able to add our preschool staff into the honor of receiving Teacher of the Year at not only the Brandon School District level, but at the county level as well. So we're super excited about that. And when we honor these teachers tonight, we'll start with that level and move on up. But our first honoree this year is from our Brandon preschool. She's been in our district for a while, and Cassandra Padilla, the preschool supervisor, is here to share a little bit about our winner. So Sarah Campbell is our winner for this year. Is she here? I can't see her. So Sarah, if you could stand, and I don't know if you were able to bring some of your family with you, and Cassandra is going to, I'm sorry?
Do you want me to come up? or
I think that would
just
be
something
great.
on that?
Could you go on over
The
there?
whole time.
No. Or you could go up with Cassandra if you'd like, or you can stay there.
Okay, I'm coming. All right. Okay, I'm here. So, it's a big honor to introduce Sarah Campbell. I'm sure a lot of folks in this room already know her or taught me. Hi. Sarah is one of our longest tenured early childhood teachers in the Early Childhood Center. She's beloved by students and her peers. Obviously, she's got a lot of her peers here to support her today. Some of the comments from family members who wrote letters of recognition for her were just so heartwarming, and the legacy that she's left and imposed on people and their families is just phenomenal. So she's very deserving of this award, and it's an honor for me to promote her to the Oakland County level as well, with that being, again, the first year that Oakland County has recognized early childhood teachers at for such a high honor. So I'm honored to present Sarah Campbell this award and to see her hopefully promote to Oakland County's award level as well. We can all give her a round of
This is a small token of our appreciation. We've got a beautiful certificate for you too. We're going to make sure the signatures are on it.
Thank you.
Get it over to you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sarah.
Maybe a photo when we're done. Or when I look better, like tomorrow. Okay. Just funnel back. Thank you.
All right. right, thank you, Sarah and Cassandra. And now we'll move up to the elementary level. This year, we had 11 nominees, and our final winner was Carrie Ann Ogans. She is newer to Brandon. We're so grateful to have her, and we have Mrs. Jessica Hevel here to share a little bit more information about Mrs. Ogans.
I am super excited to introduce Carrie Ann Ogans. This is her 3rd year at Herbie Swanson, teaching 1st grade. So prior to that, she was in the Cruisley School District for 10 years, teaching 1st grade and kindergarten. I may have pulled her along with me a little bit when I came back to Herbie Swanson because she's a rock star. Carrie Ann is the total package. She is phenomenal with her classroom management, with her relationships with her students and parents, with her students' achievement. She cares so deeply about the kids that she works with every day. I think it's unique. She was actually nominated by a parent that has never had a child in her class, which we thought was very unique. They nominated Carrie Ann just based on seeing her interact with her kids throughout the school. So I thought that really spoke volumes. And she is all in as a Black Hawk. Her
Yes.
kids, Preston and Brinsley, are here as well, and this is their 2nd year at Herbie Swanson as well. So I'm really honored to introduce Carrie Ann Ogans.
All right, and then lastly, at the high school level, we have our honoree tonight, Amy Skopek, and we have Dan Stevens here to share a little bit about her.
So I am so lucky that I get to come to work every day with some amazing people, and there could have been a number of people in my building that were definitely worthy of this award for sure. Amy is no different than our staff. For those of you that don't know her, she's been working for the district for 21 years, has done all kinds of things. What makes her really special is I can sit up here and I can nominate people all day long, but when a colleague nominates you and a student nominates you, that really means something. I think Amy's a Spanish teacher, ASL teacher. She's done English. I think she's even done Spanish at the elementary for maybe a couple years at one point in time, right? Has done a lot, especially this year. She took on ASL, which is a tough subject, and our kids were clamoring for that subject to be taught at Brandon High School, and those people are not out there everywhere to hire. So Amy stepped up and said, "Hey, I'll do that this year, and I'll teach our kids ASL," and she's done a phenomenal job with that. She's been a swim coach. She has been on numerous committees. She's been softball coach. Has done many things over the course of her career here in Brandon. But I do want to share just a couple things what people besides me had to say about her. One of her colleagues said, "I'm in awe of her contributions to education and the mark that she left on the minds and hearts of our students." A parent says, "Her ability to keep students engaged along with her genuine enthusiasm has inspired my son to pursue teaching in college, and he hopes to develop many of those qualities in his career," that Mrs. Skopek has. And a student, one of our I believe 10th grade students, says, "For me personally, she has helped me so much and she doesn't even know it. When I was having family issues, she would make me smile and laugh and turn the situation into a good moment for me." So very deserving, Mrs. Amy Skopek, for her secondary teacher of the year.
And like I was saying, they've won at the Brandon School District level, and next their names have been submitted to go on to the county level to be able to be recognized as the Oakland County Teacher of the Year. And they will all be recognized in May, regardless of whether they receive that honor or not, in May at a dinner at Oakland Schools. So congratulations to all of our honorees. You're well deserving, and we're very proud to send your names on, and can't wait to see what happens at the county level. Best of luck to all of you.
All right, and actually this is the first time we've had a really nice audience of colleagues in front for that presentation, so thank you for being here. It's really fun to watch your colleagues get honored. Really appreciate it. Okay, next up is Series 2 bond project update from Mr. Smelnack. Is Mr. Smelnack? I'm sure I see Mr. Smelnack.
Ryan?
Yes. Okay.
All right.
All right, then we will move on to.
He's back.
Oh, he's back. There he is.
He doesn't want to see us.
Good evening. Quick update for you. Since the contracts were awarded after the Christmas holiday for the summer 25 construction, we've been reviewing submittals, ordering materials. Right now, there's nothing negative on the schedule to impact anything starting in the spring for any of the projects that were awarded. So we're getting very excited. Contractors are gearing up. As we get closer in the spring, we'll have more meetings with the administration and refine that schedule. It's going to be a big thing with the parking lots this year. But everything right now is on schedule. There's been nothing that has come up that would be a delay of any project. So we're getting ready to go. So we'll have more updates for you in the next couple of months. But right now, everything's going pretty smoothly. Any questions I can answer?
We're good.
Okay, good.
Thanks, Brian. All right, and then I'd like to now introduce Barton Mallow, two gentlemen from Barton Mallow here to present to the board regarding potential new bond projects.
So, actually, let's switch there. I can't see. So, good evening. Starting off with the facility condition assessment. So, quick introductions. Let's couple slide, next slide. One is it's great to see such a great crowd. So, it's fantastic for this. Excited. I know the day after Super Bowl, you always say there's Let's say that. Yeah. Day after Super Bowl, they say there's a lot of people that aren't available, but this is great. I love the turnout. So, yeah. So, introductions. I'm Juan Vasquez III, project executive for Barton Mallow Builders. And Larry, if you introduce yourself.
Larry Bukowski, Director of Planning for Barton Mallow.
And there's the team. So once I'd like to take this opportunity to say thanks again for choosing us in your pre-bond services and your CM. So moving this forward. So thank you again, and we're very excited to be part of this team. So looking at the agenda, Larry has quite an agenda to go through, but it won't be too long. We have the overview, infrastructure needs, other findings, time frame, next steps, and then we'll have questions at the ends related to the capital improvement planning. So starting with the overview, so from December 24th to January 24th, we walked all the buildings. Larry did a great job assessing and doing a facility assessment. On the 24th, we met with user groups, some of which are actually in the crowd, so thank you for being here. We compiled a preliminary work list. Larry put a fun fact here, some facility facts. The number of buildings, you have 5 with a total of 603,985,000 square feet, and the average age of your building is 43 years old. So Larry, if you want to take the infrastructure needs, I can switch spots with you.
We rehearsed this. So we walked all 600,000 square feet of your facilities, and we broke down the items we observed into 5 major categories: site work, roofing, building interior, mechanical systems, and electrical. And then anything that we saw was deficient, which as the way we grade things, anything that will fail within, we predict 10 years, we assigned it a prioritization of 1, 2, or 3. 1 being items that really need to be replaced now, things that will probably fail in the next 1 to 3 years, then 4 to 6, and 7 through 9. So really, that's the important thing to remember, is this is a 10-year outlook. This isn't all the dollars you see in this presentation don't have to be spent right now. That's not the case. This is really a 10-year look ahead. So site work, we looked at all your paving and concrete. Thankfully, you did a lot of that in the recent years. There wasn't a whole lot to see there. That looked largely in pretty good shape. We walked all the athletic fields and playgrounds, which was really fun to do in December. And then your fencing and things like that, all your site amenities. Roofing, we had some help from RTA. You recently commissioned a roof assessment for the whole district. And they basically did what we did, but with the roofs, and they graded your roofing systems and put a 10-year plan together for that as well. Inside the building, we looked at all your doors. I know there's, a lot of hardware concerns or, keying issues throughout the district. We looked at all that. The flooring, I know at first glance, a lot of the flooring looks new, like this carpet looks new, but imagine 10 years from now what this carpet's gonna look like. So we kind of looked at the facilities with that lens in mind. The restrooms, we looked at them for ADA compliance, for, the fixtures in rough shape, the tile. All the ceilings, again, ceilings look good now, but over time they start to sag. So we like to account for those things just as a look ahead of planning, budgetary type of thing. And then finally casework. See, I think that might be a few rooms over if I recall that casework that was failing. Mechanical systems, that includes things like fire protection or fire suppression, plumbing, HVAC and temperature controls. You can see this picture on the right, that's taken in this building, and this building alone has 12 boilers in it side by side. So you can imagine, when those do finally reach their end of life, that's a pretty major expenditure that you just have to plan for. So when we took all those infrastructure needs, laid them out on the 10-year look ahead, between all the major groupings there, we found that roughly $64 million over the next 10 years is what you should probably plan on needing to just replace what you have. The good news is, it's pretty backloaded. There's not a whole lot of that looks like it's an emergency situation. So only the 1 through 3 years, because of all the work we've done recently, was only $9 million of that 64. But you can see, moving ahead, that those dollars increase as we move along the 10-year time frame. Some other findings. Juan mentioned that we sat down with some of the user groups, some of the building leaders. So a lot of the principals, we sat down and listened to them, the tech director, athletic director, folks like that. We just listened to what we couldn't see when we walked the buildings. We could see the obvious things, but that won't tell us the things that are really bugging them. And maybe beyond just facilities needs, maybe some programming things that might be nice to have in their buildings, some spaces that could be better utilized. So we tried to marry the facilities needs with maybe some of the building improvements into this plan as well. So some things that came up were the high school and middle school locker rooms are huge. They're really not used like they were when the building was built. So maybe that space could be reimagined, renovated. Maybe the locker rooms could become smaller and the rest of the space becomes something else. The pool showers came up. The Harvey Swanson track and field came up. High school softball field was one of the topics, and as well as some band storage. And there were others that didn't make the list, but things like that some of the building level staff mentioned to us could be areas of improvement for their buildings. Some of the things that specifically related to academics. High school media center, again, when the building was built, media centers were used one way. Now they're used a completely different way in schools. So same thing with the middle school media center, high school science labs, and the elementary stages. Kind of rethinking how those stages are, maybe getting rid of the stages to make more room for the areas in the cafeteria, the gym. So those are all things we listened to and put budgetary dollars towards those things as well. Talking to your tech folks, some of the things they'd like to see, and your safety security folks, video and doorbell access upgrades, video recording servers, emergency communications, badging, fire alarms, emergency generators. Those are all things from a safety and security perspective that we included in the report. Upgrading the local area networks, network infrastructure, student devices, switches and copiers. So a 10-year look ahead on those items as well. Another item that the principals were pretty passionate about was furniture. Today's curriculum, the way kids learn, the way kids work, isn't necessarily in rows and in columns anymore. It's a lot of flexible furniture, so they wanted to make sure that, you know, potentially some furniture upgrades were budgeted for as well, so that's in the report. So those items, when we price those out, again, with a 10-year look ahead in mind, came to a total of $42 million. But yeah, so $10 million roughly in that arts and athletics category, 10.5 in academics, 6.5 million in safety security, 6 million in tech, 2 million in buses, and 7 million in furniture and equipment. So, some financial information provided by your financial advisor. The potential for a no tax increase bond would net, you know, all these numbers culminate in the big number at the bottom, roughly a $40 million bond proceeds when all said and done. That number might fluctuate as the program, just by a few dollars up or down as the program develops and we get nearer to the Treasury date. But that's sort of the budget that we've got to work with. And so, as Juan will talk about, some of our next steps will be how to make this a program that works for the district and the budget they have. This is not a unique problem, by the way. Most districts that we do this in have far more in needs than they have budget. So this is very common, almost with every district that we work with. Just a little bit about some historical data from the last 10 years of bond programs. I know this might be hard to read, but this is bond programs in general. Not sure if you can see, but there's a 68% passage rate for all bond programs in the last 10 years. With a millage increase, that number drops to 54%. Without a millage increase, that number is 89%. But you can see after COVID, the number, they used to be slam dunks, but that's not the case anymore the last 4 or 5 years. So just some interesting statistics to be aware of.
Yeah. Looking at the time frame, during our, when we originally met with you, we gave you a schedule where time frame and where things had to happen. So everything on the left is complete, so we're currently at the program development phase, which is discussing the education improvements, and then really, like Larry said, which is to prioritize what the projects that we really need to do. And so that's the next step that we're at, and we're on target from the schedule that we originally showed you.
Yeah, so some important key dates to keep in mind. We're going to, in the next few weeks, work with administration and come up with a preliminary prioritization of those items that we saw and that we observed. February through March, we're going to start assessing some enrollment information, enrollment projections, seeing how that might come into play with some of those spaces like the media center, things like that. March 12th and 13th, that's when our partner that we work with, the campaign strategy firm, will conduct their focus panel meetings. And then immediately after that, the survey will go out to the community for 1 week. In April, we'll be back at the board meeting to discuss the findings of those focus panels and the surveys. May 19th is when we'll basically have the program done, finalized for you to review. And that's the program that will go to the Treasury Department on June 10th. We're going to meet with them there. The district has set that date with the Department of Treasury. When we have that date, that kicks off a 30-day review period. I know there's a lot of dates here, but a lot of this has to happen in a certain way. It's very systematic with the Department of Treasury. when we meet with them, they have 30 days to review it and then send it back to us. Right after we meet with them is when the board treasurer will sign the bond application. So that's the meeting in June 16th. And then your July 21st board meeting will be outside of that 30-day review period. So that's when you'll actually be able to call for the election. And at that point, that's when your campaign can officially begin. So I know it's a lot of information I'm throwing at you, but it's a very regimented process that the Treasury demands of us. So just wanted to let you all know that don't plan any vacations in June or July. That's all we have. Thank you. Unless there's any questions.
Any questions? No, we appreciate that. That was very thorough.
Good to
Thank
see
you.
you.
Thanks for
Thank you.
coming out tonight.
All right. Ms. Padilla, are you ready? All right, thank you very much for waiting. We're very fortunate every board meeting to have a showcase from each of our departments or buildings highlighting all the amazing things that are happening across the district. And so this month, we are very lucky to have our Brandon Early Childhood Center here to share information with the board regarding all the great work that's happening over there this year.
Thank you, Ms. Stone. Thank you, Alexis. I always worry about the formatting when I'm doing these things because you never know if it's going to open up and everything's just going to be askew. So I'm honored to come and talk a little bit about what we are doing at Brandon Early Childhood Center. We're focusing on the strategic plan goal of community connections. And if you haven't had a chance to look at this document or familiarize yourself, we are working to foster connections within and across our schools and the outside community to increase authentic learning opportunities for all of our students. So I just wanted to come and talk a little bit about what it is that we are doing to create those connections. Some of the programs that we've introduced this year include the Book Buddies. At Harvey Swanson, we had the gift of being able to partner with a Harvey Swanson teacher, well, 2 teachers actually, and our preschool students were able to walk down to the library and experience working with older students. This was a win on both sides. The older students were able to work on their reading skills, mentorship, they had improved confidence with their reading, and our younger students, it excited them about literacy, which is always the goal. Another program that we do in the Early Childhood Center is our transition days to the elementary school. So toward the end of the school year, we plan for our children who are transitioning to the elementary school, either JK or kindergarten, to actually visit their homeschool location. So our Harvey students take a walking trip down to Harvey Swanson, and our students who are zoned for Oakwood will take a bus ride over to Oakwood. So they actually get the opportunity to visit their school location, meet the principal, teachers, other key staff members. They get an opportunity to go through the cafeteria line, and we found that this has been really helpful in improving their transition from preschool to JK or kindergarten, and just gaining that confidence in being able to work more independently when they get to that level. And there's some photos from previous years. You can see Miss Stewart when she was the principal at Oakwood, doing a reading in the library there. You can see our Harvey Swanson students having an opportunity to visit the cafeteria, and the students working directly in the kindergarten classrooms with kindergarten teachers supporting that work. Another great partnership that we've had for a long time running now is with the Brandon Township Public Library. So you can see Miss Fran, and I'm sure everybody in this room knows Miss Fran. So Miss Fran visits our school, provides a lot of supportive services in our classrooms. We also take walking field trips to the library. With the proximity, we would be remiss to not utilize such a great community resource. So this is a great opportunity for us to complete the program 100 Books Before Kindergarten and really celebrate the achievements of our students as they work through their early childhood years and prepare for kindergarten readiness. You can see some of our friends, Miss Fran coming to our school and then us visiting her at the library as well. She also visits the free parent-child play group that we provide at the Early Childhood Center frequently, so she does just so many programs with us. We couldn't be more grateful for Miss Fran. Recently, we've had some opportunities to go to and for them to come to us, the Sloan Longway Museum. It's an awesome organization out of Flint. So last year, we took a trip to Sloan, and we had an experience in the Hands-On Discovery Center. We also had an experience in the planetarium. And for a lot of our students, this is something they may not experience on their own with their families. So it was a great gift to be able to provide. And then we also had on-site experiences over the last, it was 2 weeks ago? I don't know, snow days blended together. February 4th and 5th, one of them was Global Play Days. We were so excited to have that STEM learning going on in our school. So we were working on developing those critical thinking skills and really enhancing creativity, innovation, and preparing our kiddos for their next year when they will be engaged in STEM learning. Clarkston Family Farm was a great partnership as well. So for 2 years now, we've had the opportunity to take trips to the Clarkston Family Farm and really engage in some hands-on outdoor learning in the natural world. If you've not been there with your family or friends, I highly encourage you to go. If you haven't taken a trip with your class of elementary age kiddos, it is a fantastic farm to visit. The owner there, the founder of that organization, Chelsea O'Brien, really encourages children to just get in and learn and explore creatively and get their curiosity flowing. So there's so much engagement that happens at Clarkston Family Farm. We've had a great opportunity to work with them. Preschool Pals is something that's still growing. It was kind of a grassroots startup in the elementary schools, and at other grade levels we have boosters, we've got PTA, but at the early childhood level we haven't had an opportunity to really build parent groups. So when I came in, I wanted this to grow. I wanted our preschool families to feel involved and be part of the school community, because when they feel engaged with their student and what they're doing, they're more likely to have a long lasting relationship with the school and a great homeschool connection. So Preschool Pals, Parents as Leaders, establishes that academic, social, and emotional foundation at the early childhood level that we hope will carry through as they transition into elementary school. So those are just a quick overview of some of the exciting things that we're doing to connect with our community. Does anyone have any questions about anything we brought up or suggestions of things that you would love to see in the Early Childhood Center? All right, well, thank you for your time today.
Just to finish up the superintendent report, I did want to mention that, believe it or not, we might not get some very good weather later this week. Timing looks like maybe Wednesday into Thursday. And not that we're predicting anything on Thursday, but all weather signs are pointing to a yucky evening on Wednesday night. And we have a big district-wide enrollment event planned for that evening. And out of an abundance of caution, and knowing how many people are helping us put that together, and balloons we've got on order, and flowers, and all these things, we decided to make a decision this morning to move it to next Wednesday, February 19th, so that everything else is the same other than hopefully no snow. So thank you for that. And then there's one more thing I would like to do this evening before we continue on the agenda. And I would like to take a minute just to read a statement regarding the status of negotiations with the Brandon Education Association. In February 2024, legislation changed in Michigan, allowing for collective bargaining of previously prohibited subjects at the negotiation table. Examples of these previously prohibited subjects include teacher placement, layoff and recall, staff evaluation, staff discipline, and the collection of union dues. These topics are now mandatory bargaining subjects and require new language to be added to the collective bargaining agreement. Recognizing that this legislative change in negotiation topics would likely cause our typical negotiation discussions to be longer than in recent years, both the BEA and the Brandon School District began negotiations earlier than usual. We began to meet in the spring of 2024 with the understanding the BEA contract expired at the end of October 2024 and the hope of settling prior to the expiration of the contract. Both sides have spent many hours at the negotiating table to agree on a contract for the 2024-25 school year and beyond. With revisions and updates to recent contract language and the inclusion of previously prohibited topics, the contract language is very close to being settled. There are a couple of language items that the BEA and district negotiation team have been working through, which we are struggling to settle. As a result, the district has requested a mediator from the Michigan Employment Relations Commission, also known as MERC, in an effort to keep moving our negotiations forward. We will begin working with the already assigned mediator in March, subject to the availability of all parties. Recently, there's been a discussion regarding the financial portion of our current negotiations. We are engaged in continued discussion at the negotiation table here as well. It is important to note that when the legislation changed in February of 2024 to include former prohibitive subjects in collective bargaining, there was also a change affecting when staff receive a salary increase on their contracted salary schedule. She can hear me talking. Step schedule advancements are no longer frozen following the expiration of a collective bargaining agreement. And as a result, the step increase for all eligible BEA members was part of the board-approved budget for the 2024-2025 school year. Notably, the district moved members one step and adjusted salaries this past fall. This resulted in salary schedule step increases ranging from just over 2% to upwards of 9.5%, depending on the years of service in the district. Although BEA negotiations have not yet been settled, both the administrative staff and the Board of Education of the Brandon School District value and appreciate all of our staff. The time and dedication our staff spend to our Brandon students, their families, and each other is remarkable. It brings nothing but pure joy to us when we see and hear all of the fantastic things happening in our classrooms, the many examples of folks going the extra mile, and the accomplishments our students make as a direct result of your influence. Thank you for all you do and continue to do for our students, our families, and each other. This is why Brandon is such a special place to work and live. The district will continue to maintain its fiduciary duty to the community and bargain in good faith to provide a fair, balanced, and stable environment for all, and is looking forward to finalizing a contract in the near future. Thank you. I'm finished.
Thank you. Okay. Next is public comments and questions on agenda business. So I'm assuming these are not on agenda business. Okay, so we will put that until after. Next is, before we do our next approval, I need to have a motion to table the vote on approval of consent agenda for the January 13th, 2025 agenda. to the March 17th, 2025 board meeting.
Go ahead, I'm sorry. Okay, I move to table the vote of the approval of the consent agenda until the March 17th, 2025 board meeting.
Second.
Any discussion? So this is just, we have some corrections to make on the minutes, so we aren't gonna approve it until those corrections are made. Can I get a roll call?
Jeff Zilke,
Yes.
Jody,
Yes.
Rebecca,
Yes.
Herb,
Yes.
Diane, yes.
Okay, thank you. Next up is information and discussion items. Jan, are you ready?
Yes, well, the first item on there, I was asked to just talk about the school resource officer, or SRO contract that the board will be voting on tonight. This contract is for our school resource officer. We partner with the Brandon Township. The cost of the officer is split 50%. As everybody knows, we've had this position in the district for many, many years. This contract is a 3-year contract. The first year is this year, ending in June of 2027. And the total cost of the contract is $306,990.
For 3 years.
For all 3 years, yes, yes. Just,
Yeah, and the increase is
there is
after
an increase every year, yes. And this contract, it's not, we're given the contract from the township based on their cost, and we pay the 50%. And again, this is the contract that the district has had for many, many years.
And we appreciate the service we get.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Officer Pence, yeah, he's housed here at the high school, but he works the district, so,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then the child care.
Yes. See you guys. Okay, in December, I presented the budget amendment for general fund only. Tonight, I want to present an amendment for our food service fund and our child care fund. So our food service, let's start with the financials. Our food service fund balance, our audited numbers from 22-23, $790,009. Last year's audited fund balance, we increased that to $904,458. And this year, the projected is $969,723. As you can see, it's a very healthy fund balance. The food service is allowed, or we are allowed to transfer funds from the food service to general fund. Last year, we transferred $50,000, and this year, we're budgeted to transfer $75,000. The food service for the state, we have a certain fund balance that we're supposed to stay within. And that fund balance is a 3-month average of our expenditures for the year. So we take our expenditures, 9 months divided, and get the average monthly times it by 3. As long as I've been here, several years, we get a letter every spring that we've exceeded that we have too much fund balance. You can see from the prior slide, our fund balance is quite high. So we submit a plan, and we've been upgrading equipment. We've upgraded the food. I mean, it's much better. We have a new director who's really doing some really good things. So we expect to be getting the letter here anytime now. And I'm projecting the letter, right now, our excess fund balance from last year will be about $425,000. So we're going to put together a plan. That's a lot of money to try to spend. So our spend down plan at the middle school, Ashley, our director, has asked to redo the lunch line. So we're going to, that's a capital project. So that's in the works. Brian Smolak is working on getting, we're going to have to take that out to bid. And then continued equipment purchases and replacements, upgrades. higher quality food choices. That's we're always looking to do that. And then the hot breakfast offerings is a cost, but it's been, that program has been very successful this year. So we're looking to extend that into the elementaries. Our federal meal reimbursement rates, as everybody knows, it's free lunch for all. Pre-pandemic, our reimbursement from the government, because our school meals program is a federal program, is $2.20 for breakfast and $3.50 for lunch. Currently this year, breakfast, our reimbursement is $2.84 and lunch is $4.54. These reimbursement rates have been very, they've been nice, they've been high, and that's contributing to the fund balance that we're seeing increase. Just some facts regarding our service, our meal service. The average daily breakfast that we serve, 528 across the district. The average daily participation is only 28%. That's actually higher than it's been. There's been a big push in the district to increase that. We would like to have that much higher than 28%. Our average lunch is served 1,361, and then the lunch participation across the district is 71%. And even that, you would think, because everything's free, that maybe that would be a little bit higher, but Ashley is working on that as well. Our child care fund, the child care fund does not include GSRP. GSRP is part of our general fund. Child care fund is our tuition-based preschool academy program, and Latchkey is included there, and then our summer Latchkey programs, or camp programs in the summer. Currently, we have 37 students enrolled. We have more students that have went from tuition-based over to GSRP because the rules have changed for GSRP for 4-year-olds. Our Latchkey before school, on average, we have about 46 students that attend Latchkey in the morning, and then after school, on average, about 60 students. Last summer, our Summer Hawks camp program, we had on average 36 students a week. So our child care fund balance, in 22-23, we were at $268,000, and then that went up. I'm sorry, the operating surplus was I'm looking at the side here, $268,075. In 22-23, we received a huge sum from the federal government. That was during COVID, of over $500,000, so that helped our fund balance quite a bit. We ended 22-23 with a $475,000 fund balance. Last year, we ended the year, we used quite a bit of that fund balance, so that went down to $255,000, $430,000. We met, we talked, and made some adjustments, obviously with Cassandra, and she made some really good adjustments. So the fund balance, we're looking at a slight operating deficit this year, but the fund balance is still at $201,756. So that's good news. There's no operating transfer either into the the child care program, and the child care program is not transferring money back to the general fund like we do with the food service program. Any questions on the food service fund or the child care fund? Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, and I skipped board report, I'm sorry. Jody, did you have?
Yes,
board report?
I have a report. I'm the representative for the Oakland County School Board Association, and for 2025, and I'm the representative from Brandon, and for 2025, on January 29th, we had our first meeting. We had a really good attendance from the Brandon Board of Education. There was myself, Carly, Rebecca, Hillary, and Diane, so it was excellent. It was an excellent meeting, and our keynote speaker focused on and did a presentation on the qualities of an effective Board of Education or school board. So instead of filling everybody's inboxes with more emails, if anybody, I have a copy of that presentation, so if anybody wants it, please let me know and I can forward it. But it was an excellent presentation.
Yeah, it was great.
It was great. I mean, I don't have anything else.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
And Diane?
And the only thing I have is that I did attend the superintendent evaluation training with MASP. That was a good refresher, and like even lots of things have changed, and I'm so glad I got that done and checked off my list, so,
Yes, that's a new requirement. We all have to do it.
yeah.
All right, next is action items. Action item A, delegation of recording secretary duties by secretary of the board. Okay,
So it would be by Jeff.
no. Oh, Jeff to Jeff.
Yeah.
Jeff
Jeff
to
to
Jeff, you're gonna talk. There you go, that's you.
Yeah.
No, you're doing it to you. You're Jeff to Jeff.
I, Jeff Zilke, the Secretary of the School Board, delegate Jeff Zilke as serving as recording secretary of the Brandon School Board of Education.
All right.
Seconded.
Any discussion? Can I get a vote?
Herb,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Jody,
Yes.
Diane, yes. Rebecca,
Yes. B, approval of food service and child care budget amendment.
I'll move the Brandon Board of Education to approve the food service and child care budget amendment as presented.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? Can I get a vote?
Jody,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Diane, yes. Herb,
Yes.
Rebecca,
Yes. C, approval of term ending dates for board cabinet positions. Board president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer.
I'll move the the Brandon Board of Education cabinet position terms must end at the organizational meeting in 2026.
second.
Any discussion? Can I get a roll call vote?
Herb,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Jody,
Yes.
Diane, yes. Rebecca,
Yes. D, reimbursement of board expenses.
I'll move the Brandon Board of Education approve the reimbursement of expenses after each event as presented.
Support.
Any discussion? Can I get a vote?
Diane, yes. Jeff,
Yes.
Jody,
Yes.
Herb,
Yes.
Rebecca,
Yes. E, voting delegates for MASB delegate assembly.
I'll move Brandon Board of Education to appoint Rebecca Haynes and Jody Sturts Hall as voting delegates and Hillary Stosowski and Diane Salter as alternative voting delegates for MASB delegate assembly.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? We had to change that because of the size of our district. We can only have two and then two alternatives. All right, now can I get a roll call vote?
Jeff,
Yes.
Jody,
Yes.
Herb,
Yes.
Diane, yes. Rebecca,
Yes. F, designate person authorized to sign purchase orders.
Move the Brandon Board of Education designate the Executive Director of Business Services as the authorized person to sign purchase orders for the Brandon School District.
second.
Any discussion? Can I get a roll call vote?
Jody,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Diane, yes. Herb,
Yes.
Rebecca,
Yes. H, 2025 to 2027 school resource officer contract.
hold on.
Did I?
G.
G was board of director.
We didn't
Oh,
do that yet.
okay, so sorry. Good catch, thank you. Okay, so G, MASB board of directors.
Move the Brandon Board of Education elect Paul Colin to the MASB Board of Directors.
Second.
Any discussion? Can I get a roll call vote?
Jody,
Yes.
Herb,
Yes.
Diane, yes. Jeff,
Yes.
Rebecca,
Yes. H, 2025 to 2027 school resource officer contract.
Move the Brandon Board of Education approve the 2025 to 2027 school resource officer contract as presented.
Second.
Any discussion? Can I get a roll call vote?
Diane, yes. Jody,
Yes.
Herb,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Rebecca.
Yes. I, 2025 STEM overnight field trip.
Move the Brandon Board of Education to approve the 2025 STEM overnight field trip as presented.
Second.
Any discussion? Can I get a roll call vote?
Herb,
Yes.
Diane, yes. Jeff,
Yes.
Jody,
Yes.
Rebecca.
Yes. J, middle school choir and band overnight field trip.
Move the Brandon Board of Education approve the 2025 middle school choir and band overnight field trip as presented.
Second.
Any discussion? Can I get a roll call vote?
Diane, yes. Jeff,
Yes.
Jody,
Yes.
Herb,
Yes.
Rebecca.
Yes. K, resolution series 2 bond sale.
Move the Brandon Board of Education to approve the resolution series 2 bond sale as presented.
Any discussion? Oh,
Did we
shoot.
get a
Sorry.
second?
Support.
I need a second.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? Can I get a roll call vote?
Herb,
Yes.
Diane, yes. Jody,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Rebecca.
Yes. Okay. Next up is citizen input. Before we start with that, I'm just going to read something really quick. When addressing the board, please recognize yourself by stating your name. Each statement shall be limited to 3 minutes. You can only speak once. The statement shall be directed at the board only. Generally, the board will not respond to public comments during the meeting. Speakers are asked to express themselves in a civil manner with due respect for the dignity and privacy of others who may be affected by your comments. To ensure due process and respect of individual rights, the district maintains a formal process for handling complaints against individuals. A problem involving the individuals or specific incident is best handled through administrative channels. Such matters should be reduced to writing and sent to the superintendent or the board president. While it is not our intent to stifle public comments, speakers should be aware that if your statements violate the rights of others under the law of defamation or invasion of privacy, you may be held legally responsible. If you are unsure of the legal ramification of what you're about to say, we urge you to consult first with your legal advisor. The board wants to hear what people want to say. We expect each speaker will model for our students and others in the audience on how one can respectfully disagree with others' views or voice an opinion or ask questions. So with that, first up is Jody Daniels.
Thank you. Sure.
Okay, I have this timed and I promise I'm exactly, but if I misspeak a word or two, I might have a sentence pass, so I apologize. Hello, I'm going to talk really fast. Hello, my name is Jody LaFrance Daniels and I'm the Visual Fine Arts Instructor at Brandon Middle School, as you probably remember. Last time I was here, I told you about the 2 amazing art pieces in the highly prestigious Scholastic Art Competition, and unfortunately, they were not chosen this year, and I feel so sad for Scholastic because they were great. One of these pieces, however, created by Ziva Swindle, is currently in the Michigan Art Education Association Annual Art Show for Region 7 being held at Detroit Country Day School. There are 4 other artists in the show: Owen Rochester, Zoe Ziljanovsky, Addison Stamper, and Nova Wolf.
I contacted the citizen to photograph the students and their art to help promote our district. These 2 art shows that I just entered were something that I have done from the start of my career here in Brandon. And I was so invested that I became the liaison for Region 7 for the MAEA for years. I drove all over the state of Michigan to fulfill my many duties, and I did that for the MAEA knowing that I was a volunteer. For Scholastic, I helped navigate thousands of entries and set up and tear down at CCS. Again, I did that as a volunteer. However, finding out after years of my involvement in these 2 shows for Brandon that the Brandon Band and Choir directors were paid for their performance work and I was not, got me talking to my union so I could be paid equally. The district turned them down and me down for a year after year, yet I still championed on for a few years for the kids. I did that until it became clear that I was ignored and I would never be paid for my time or talent unless I stopped and allowed the union to negotiate a fair outcome for me. I waited. The union kept asking for visual fine arts to be paid the same as performing arts teachers, and now, thanks to their dedicated work, I am now paid for the hours and hours of fulfilling the many required duties outside of the school day for these 2 prestigious shows, and our students are involved again. My union fixed it so that the disparate treatment ended so that all Brandon Fine Arts teachers are treated equally. My union did that. My point here is simple. Myself and all of these teachers that are here tonight represent the women and men who work for the betterment of this community so our students can succeed and compete. The 3 women who represent us in contract negotiations are not there for themselves. They are there for us. We, the teachers of this union, expect and deserve fair and equal negotiations that are fairly discussed and not dictated by an outside overpaid lawyer who has no obvious interest in anything that we do on a daily basis. I know that as a board, you care about Brandon School students and staff, and we ask that you continue to demonstrate that care by ensuring that we are treated with respect as we navigate a fair agreement. I'm asking for open communication within our family, not allowing outside sources to dictate a sterile outcome. I implore you to rethink mediation and come back to the table to fairly negotiate with the 3 union representatives that represent us. Please remember that all of these faces are standing beside us.
Thank you, Jody.
Our reps
Thank
and
you.
represent, that's all, that's good. I'm done. But they represent
All right, next up is Andrea Noker.
Good evening, I'm Andrea Noker, and I invited all of these people here tonight to show you who I represent as the VEA president. I am here to give you a brief update on how negotiations have been going. I wanted to address this topic myself, as I am not sure what the board is hearing and who is updating you, and it has been brought to my attention that this past weekend, there was an anonymous Facebook post on a local forum that shared inaccuracies, and I want you to rest assured that I did not make that post. I would not post anonymously. I'm not afraid to tell you how negotiations are going. I encourage you to just reach out and ask me anytime. Additionally, my concern with the inaccuracies arise from an incident last fall when the attorney Carly Hyder accused me of cornering a school board member in the grocery store. I was shocked when I was told I had cornered her, and I'm sure this could not have been her interpretation because she approached me. I first saw her in the bread aisle, and I decided I would avoid her even though bread was on my list that night. It was nothing personal, I just wanted to be done with work for the evening. Later on that grocery trip, this board member approached me over by the milk aisle. She asked me how things were going, so I filled her in on negotiations and how they had come to a stall. And members were upset that the district was willing to spend upwards of $250 an hour for a lawyer, only to have our collaborative negotiation process come to an abrupt end with Mr. Murray's arrival. I explained how the evaluation committee was upset that the document we created collaboratively with the district would not be part of the contract for fear of grievances. They don't understand why the district is concerned about grievances. The grievance process is there to protect teachers when contract policy is not followed. This all happened in October, and now it's early February. We entered our last negotiation session on January 28th, explaining to the district that making more changes to the proposals was becoming very difficult. It was evident that both sides were unwilling to give more. We suggested returning to a collaborative process. We, the BEA, suggested throwing out both the Thrun law firm language and the BEA language and build something new together. We brought samples of other districts and how they had done this. This is how we worked together before Ryan joined the negotiations. It was a very thoughtful, collaborative process. The district ignored our request with no response and decided mediation was the next best step.
Okay, next up is Leah
Bagassi.
Jody and Diane. Diane's good.
All right.
Hi y'all, I'm Leah Bagassi. I run our Brandon Adult Transition Program, and Brandon Adult Skills for Employment, which is BASE, is a program designed for students 18 to 26 who receive special education services. Not all students qualify for this program, but some students who receive certificate of completion instead of a high school diploma qualify for this program. We did a showcase last year about BASE, and I did include that for the couple of new board members just to kind of give you a clue of who we are and what we do. Just wanted to update the board on some exciting new things that we were able to accomplish. So over the summer, I was able to attend Special Olympics coaches training, where I was able to be a certified bowling Special Olympics coach. And within that, I was able to write a grant and get funding with the help of Mr. Kukuk and some other support. I was able to write a grant and get funding for our program to be able to bowl monthly at Holly Lange, including transportation and the cost of bowling, all covered through the grant. And we will also have the opportunity to compete at the state games for Special Olympics. So just a fun little update. You can see our little, I passed out to the board little pictures of our team and our bowling practice. Holly Lange has been great with us, to work with us and our different needs for some of our students, and bowling shoes and equipment and adaptive things. So just wanted to give you guys a quick update on what's going on.
Thank you. Okay, next up is closed session.
Move that the Brandon Board of Education approve to enter into closed session to discuss contract negotiations and the superintendent evaluation.
Second. Any discussion? Can I get a roll call vote?
Herb.
Yes.
Diane, yes. Jeff.
Yes.
Jody.
Yes.
Rebecca.
Yes. All right, we are moving to closed session. Thank you for coming tonight.